You have to create the solution. The solution, you have to create it. I am your serviceable servant, Evangelist Nima Kalo. You are welcome once again to my channel. Create the solution is the topic of this message. I want to read the book of Genesis chapter 1. I will read verse 2 and verse 3. I'm reading from Amplified. It says, the earth was formless and void, or a waste and emptiness. I repeat, the earth was formless and void, or waste and emptiness, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, the primeval ocean that covered the unformed earth. The Spirit of God was moving, hovering, brooding over the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. The Spirit of God hovered, roved on the surface of the water of the darkened space called the planet Earth. They call the Medieval Sea, according to the record here. So the face of the earth were all covered by water. There was no place for God to settle. So in the process of the creation, God separated, pushed the water one side to have the dry land. But I'm not going to go deep. I'm focusing on the verse 2 and verse 3. The other time I have spoken on God of the universe, how God owns the universe. I have made the video. That should be around Sunday or Saturday. Then, this is create the solution. What is your problem? Create the solution. What is your family problems? Create the solution. What is your community problems? Create the solution. What problems are you encountering in the churches and other places that makes you to become angry and begin to be angry even against the fake pastors, the fake ministers, the fake Christians? Create the solution. What are the problems people are facing around the world? Create the solution. Solution is very, very important. The solution is valuable. Solution is lucrative. In fact, it takes solution to generate money and to build wealth. Business is run on solutions. Investment is run on solutions. Different kinds of activities that progress the future of the people are run on solution. God had created the space called the earth, including other planets. God had created the universe. But at this point, God was coming to invest on the planet Earth. The planet Earth was underdeveloped. It was filled with darkness. In fact, there was no place to settle. And God did not find it comfortable. I know that He is God. Even in the darkness, He sees perfectly. He moves to anywhere He can move, even in the darkness, perfectly. But that is not for humans. God had a project. That project is to develop the earth, where He will settle the human beings He was yet to create. But human beings are not God. So human beings cannot see perfectly in the darkness. So that darkness was a hindrance to God's plan concerning the settlers of the earth, which should be with the human beings. The darkness is a great hindrance to us. Even though God allowed that darkness to be, God also created that darkness. And that darkness was to serve a purpose. But that darkness at this point had become problematic. So God didn't run away from that situation. That darkness was not a reason for God to surrender in relation to the project he had at hand. God did not allow that darkness to prevail over him, over his project, over his agenda. And he could not fulfill that agenda because that agenda is important. After God had visualized all these things, God realized that there should be solution to that darkness. And God declared, "Let there be light," and there was light. So the reason God declared the light is that the light is the solution to darkness. Necessity is is the mother of invention. The necessity of sight. There was a need for sight, for visibility, for clarity, environmental clarity upon the earth. There was a need for that, and no one ever existed. If that need is not resolved, the project will not continue, the project will not be successful, then it means the targeted result cannot be achieved. And God could not afford to fulfill that project. He declared the existence of light, and light came into existence. Light came into existence. The light is the solution to darkness. As time goes on, I'll continue to teach on that. So in case, you can go to my YouTube channel, Evangelist Inyimakalu. On YouTube channel, you go on my topic, The Creation. I title it The Creation. I have up to 20 short videos like this. Up to 20 short videos. By learning on that creation, you will develop the mindset of creativity. You will develop the mindset of creativity. So, this is about being innovative, being creative. God is creative. God is innovative. God has created us humans into his image. So it is not limited to moral characteristics of God to be exhibited by us human beings. It is also extended to us being creative, being innovative, finding solutions to problems. God found the solution. The solution is needed for the project to progress. The solution is needed for God to get his targeted result, for God to market his agenda, to market his project, and for human beings to be comfortable with that solution. In the world where we live, there are problems everywhere. Bringing solution is one of the greatest secrets that have produced millionaires all over the earth. Bringing solutions to problems. This solution is not limited to light and darkness. There are solutions everywhere. Knowledge is the solution to ignorance. Understanding is the solution to confusion. Wisdom is the solution to foolishness or idiocy. Frugality is the solution to extravagance. Self-discipline is the solution to recklessness. The lawyers bring solution of judgment to case. The electric bulb with the light it produces is artificial solution that gives light to darkened rooms or darkened spaces of any kind. The sun is the solution to cold. The cold is the solution to very hot weather. So everything that is created on this earth is created to solve a particular problem or some problems. So as I said, solution is valuable. Solution is marketable. Solution is lucrative. What kind of solution can you bring? Your skill is your solution. Do you have any skill to be marketed? What is the quality of the skill you have to be marketed? I mean skill for which you will be employed or which you will be contracted to execute some duties and you will be paid for it. Your skill, your knowledge, your service, they are all solutions. So even trading is a solution. There are people who do not have the time to be running around to be picking things, buying one thing from here and the other. Then people bring most of the things they need around and rent a shop, or they build their own shop, or they buy a shop. They will begin to put in all of those things while people will be coming to buy. So they bring the solution of reducing stresses to the people, and the people pay them for it. Every job is a solution. Every kind of trade is a solution. There was a time, as we know, when telephone communication was so difficult. In those days, when telephone communication was around some kind of turntable telephones, or sometimes some people have to go to a particular place to go and make telephone call, either in the post office, Nitel, and different kind of stuff like that. So it is a set of people that began to think on how to bring solution to that problem. How could they make phone communication easier? It is on that aspect they remember that the solution should be to produce mobile phones. That is phones that people will be using which should not have wire, which can be taken along. And they went into many years of research to produce the mobile phone. And that mobile phone is being modified, and that has produced what we call the smartphones. Smartphones of different sorts. Smartphones of different sorts. All of these things are solutions. They bring solution to humanity, and humanity pay for it, for them. So, teaching, education, mentorship is the solution to business ignorance, to business illiteracy, or financial ignorance, or moral ethical ignorance. Almost everybody on this earth is ignorant in one way or the other. So there are some things I know and there are some things I do not know. Those things that I know, there are people who do not know them. And those things that I do not know, there are people who know them. So those people who know them can teach me on what I should know that they know, which I do not know. I also should teach them what they need to know, which I know and they do not know. So it becomes exchange of solution. I pay them for teaching me and they pay me for me teaching them. So solution is the fundamental factor to making wealth, to making money. What kind of solution can you bring? That is value. Solution is a value. Every kind of solution is a value. What value can you create? What value can you offer to the world, to humanity? No matter the limited number of people or a very high number of people, what can you bring to the table for which people can pay you or hire you? Is it your service that you can bring? Is it your product you can bring? Or is it the product of others which you have engaged yourself to learn how to trade upon and you bring it to trade? upon them. As we have been hearing it, it is popularly said, and we all now know it. There are two major things that bring money to anybody. One is product, two is service. So all those things are product. The light is a product. God rendered the service of his creativity. Then that's in the process of this creation, he produced the light. The light become a solution. The reason is that God gives the product of the creation free of charge to humanity. It is we humanity that are treading upon them. It is from this creation of light that people have the idea to begin to create artificial lights, both car lights, both light for living homes, light for different clubs, light, different kinds of lights everywhere. So the inspiration came from God's creation. You can also get your own inspiration and begin to create anything at all, anything creatable. I mean, creating according to your human capacity, creating it artificially, if not originally, because it is only God who has created anything natural. So every other thing created are artificial, and every other thing created are a product of leverage. We leverage on God's product to produce our own. So I want to leave it here. So create the solution. When you create the solution solve problems to people, and people pay you for solving their problems. So always remember my master textbook. Remember other of my books. This is the master textbook, Understanding and Executing Righteousness. This book is very, very powerful, very wonderful, very educational. And it is my wish that every family has at least a minimum of one copy. At least a minimum of one copy of this book. If not the rest of my books. All of them are so wonderful, different with different topics and teaching different things. I remain your serviceable servant, evangelist Inyima Kalu. Remember also, I am an evangelical author. I am a Christian, a custodian of Christianity. At the same time, I am a human capital developer. I develop humans, and you can see the evidences from my teaching. I teach people on how to be self-developed, and also how people can grow and begin to teach others on how to developing in righteousness, God's way, not in corrupt way, to develop people the right way, and people become valuable and marketable. And all of us working together will become the nation builders. Until I come your way once again, I say bye for now.